All right, good evening again. Thank you for being here tonight. Go ahead and take a comfortable seat on your mat. Sit with the legs crossed, or you could sit on the heels in a supported hero pose if that's comfortable for your knees. And of course, you can elevate the hips if they're a little tight tonight. Let's let the hands just rest comfortably in the lap with the palms up or down. And when you're ready, softly close your eyes. Beginning to turn your focus inward to your body. Give yourself some time to truly settle into the shape of this pose. If you need to move a little bit or adjust here at the beginning, go ahead and do that so that you're not tempted to in a few minutes. That urge to move can sometimes pull us away from the focus on the breath. It can create a little bit of mental or physical anxiety in the body. So get yourself nice and comfortable now. And then start to feel your shoulder blades gradually draw down away from your ears toward your hips. And let that downward energy move through the arms into your elbows. From your elbows down the forearms into the palms. Let the hands become heavier. Just notice the contact of your hands against your legs, feeling their weight, the pressure and the temperature. And bring your awareness to your hips and your pelvis. And as with the shoulders, let there be a heaviness that grounds your pelvis into the floor. And let that grounding downward energy move through your thigh bones to your knees. And from the knees down your shins to your ankles. Focus for a moment on the sensation of your ankles pressing against your mat. Feeling the weight, the pressure, the texture of that contact. And take a moment quietly to yourself just to notice anything else about your physical body right now, how it exists in space and in this shape. Let your awareness move to your breath. Starting just by listening to the sound of your own breath. And start to notice the sensation of the air as it comes into the body. Notice the sensation of the air as it leaves the body, whether that's through the nose or the mouth. Notice the speed of your breath, temperature of the air, then start to make that subtle shift in your breathing to a slower, deeper breath that's conscious and purposeful. One that you'll use to coordinate with your movement. Thinking about finding more space in the body, more opening every time you breathe in. Then rooting to your center, completely emptying the lungs as you breathe out. Find your rhythm here, slowly expanding and contracting with breath. Once you settle into that slower, deeper breath, you can float your eyes open. Take a moment to adjust to the light in your space. Good, and then you can unfold your legs. I'm going to stay with my hips elevated on my folded blanket. You can be directly on the floor if that works for you. But let's start right away this evening with a seated forward bend. So I'm going to take my strap. My legs are extended out in front of me. A little bit of space between them just because that's a little easier on the hamstrings than having the legs closely together. And since it's our first pose, I just want to ease into it. Throw the strap around the balls of both feet. Hold it with a tight grip and pull against your strap to sit up nice and tall, lengthening upward through your spine. And already notice if the hamstrings are feeling this here, just being straight and sitting up, you could certainly bend your knees initially. We're going to do plenty of hamstring stretching. Go ahead and fold forward when you're ready. Pulling gently against your strap to lean your upper body forward and down over the legs. And then you can gather your strap in one hand, reach the other hand forward. If you meet your feet, you can hold both of them. If not, just slide your hands farther down along your stirrup. If it's comfortable, let your head drop completely so that the weight of your head lengthens the back of the neck. Feel your chin move toward your chest. Take at least 5 more breaths here. Expanding front to back and side to side with each breath in. And contracting all the way around with each breath out. Good. On your next breath in, slowly rise up. You can get the strap, or get rid of the strap rather, put that off to the side. Good. We're going to open the left leg widely out to the side and then bend your right knee, bringing the sole of the foot right in front of your pelvis. So it's like you're going to set up for nose to knee pose, but instead of the upper body facing the straight leg, it's still going to face straight forward. So nothing's changed in my pelvis direction. I just changed the legs. So we're going to do a side bending variation of this. We're going to be bending toward our straight left leg. You can put that hand down on the floor either behind the leg or in front of it. Let's raise the right arm up and take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bend into your waist, leaning over to the left. Just inching the left hand down the straight leg. And the right hand is coming over the face, reaching over toward the left toes. Try and keep your right hip grounded and the right knee wide open, pressing down toward the floor. One more deep breath in. Exhale, contract your abdomen and rise back up. Good, release the right arm and let's just switch the legs. You're going to help bring the left heel in. Fold that knee and send the right leg out to the side at a wide angle. Hips still face forward. And my left heel is placed down right in front of the pelvis. Good. Sit tall. The right hand will come to the floor either to the inside of the thigh or outside. Raise your left arm up, and then exhale, bend over to the right side. Active deep breath. Your left hip is staying connected to the floor, whatever you're sitting on. The left knee is opening widely out to the side. One more deep breath in. Exhale, contract your abdominal wall and rise back up. Good, release the arm. Lean back and just unfold the legs. Take them out in front of you with your hands behind you. Shake them out a little bit. Good. All right, and then if you're sitting up on a blanket, I'm going to have you come down off of it so you're directly on your yoga mat. I'm just going to move my back over here. All right, we're going to sit now with the knees bent, the feet about as wide apart as your mat. Lean your hands behind you if they're not still there, so you're on your palms to support your upper body. And we're going to just elevate the chest a little bit, so feel your rib cage lift, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and let's windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Just continuing with a little warm up in the hips here. And then we're going to turn this into a twist. Drop your knees to the right side of your mat. Come off of your left hand and twist to the back. Putting that hand down. Pushing down against the mat through your palms or fingertips to help you not only lift upward in your spine, but twist more deeply to the right. Rotating from your belly button, up the rib cage, rotating the chest. You can even turn your head to the right if that feels comfortable in the neck. Take 3 more deep breaths here in this twist. With your last exhalation, unwind, face forward, take that left hand behind you again. Pick your knees up and drop the knees to the left side of your mat. Come off of your right hand and twist to the back, putting that hand down, and then pushing firmly down through the floor to twist from your belly button up the spine, rotating everything to the left. 3 more breaths. Last inhalation. And exhale, unwind. Good. All right, let's come into table pose. And we'll do a little more warming up for the spine and get into the shoulders. So let's begin with spinal waves. Inhale to lift your tailbone, chest and chin. Exhale, tuck the tail and the chin, round your back and spread the shoulders apart. Again, inhale, arching. Exhale, rounding. Continue in both directions, moving at the speed of your own breath. The next time you exhale through the rounded spine, that can be your last one. And come back to a neutral table pose. Keep your hips in line over your knees, but walk your arms forward and press your armpits and chest down toward the floor. Forehead comes down as well for half down dog. Spread the fingers widely and press actively through your palms as if you were doing the full pose. As you energize the arms, you may be able to lift your elbows off of the mat here as the arms straighten. Feel that strong energy in your shoulders and upper back as you pull the spine deeper into your body. 3 more breaths here. Good, and then come on back up into table. Good, from here let's take a low lunge, stepping the right foot forward in between the hands. And slide your left knee down and back. So we have a low position in the hips. Okay, let's keep the hips nice and low. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Coming to Crescent Lunge. Deeper stretch for the psoas and hip flexors. Lengthen upward through your spine. One more inhalation. And then exhale to the twist, left hand down, rotate from your waist as you keep reaching up with the right arm. Good, and then optional if you like, you can rotate your right thumb in, rotate the whole arm inward, and then wrap that arm behind you, bending the elbow for a half bind. If you're in that position, see if that can allow you to rotate even your right chest upward toward the ceiling. Bring that twist into the upper back. Good. If you've got the right arm wrapped behind you, let's reach it upward again. Inhale. Exhale, the hand to the floor. From here, send your hips back in space for half split or runner stretch. We're going to be straightening the right leg. Lift the toes up so it's just your heel pressing down through the mat. Good, last breath in. Exhale, return to your lunge. Let's tuck the back toes and lift that knee nice and high off of the ground for high lunge. Plant your palms and step into plank pose. Good, shoulders over the wrists here. Tuck your tailbone toward your heels. Fire up the abdominal wall and lift your quadricep muscles. 3 deep breaths. With your last breath out, bend your elbows slowly lower through chaturanga to the floor. Good. Once you're there, point the toes and slide your hands just a little bit farther back. Place your forehead down on the mat here. Good. Press the tops of the feet into the floor and feel your quadricep muscles activate. And then squeeze your glutes to tuck your tailbone toward your heel slightly. Good. From here, hover your hands just above the mat. And then exhale, reach your hands behind you like you're trying to lift a bar up behind your back. Palms face the ceiling, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good, keep the arms there, and now lift the feet and the legs as high up as you can. And then last bit, let's lift the chest and the head, coming into Locust Pose. One more deep breath in. We're going to reverse the steps. Exhale, just the head and chest down. Then lower the feet. Can you take the hands back to the hovering position? Bend your elbows. Then place the hands on the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades back and inhale, rise up to Cobra Pose. Exhale, let it go. Good, tuck your toes and press back up to your hands and knees. And then let's take that for the other side. We're going to lunge the left foot in between the hands. Slide your right knee down and back. Good, point those toes. Just settle down into your hips. On your next breath in, reach the arms forward and up. Finding your low crescent lunge. Feeling that energy move up the spine, out the crown of the head. And on your next breath out, come into the twisting variation. Right hand comes down, left arm stays up as you rotate from your belly button all the way up the spine. And then optional variation for the arm. Your left thumb and arm are going to rotate inward and then wrap the arm behind you, bending the elbow for a half bind. If you're in that position, glide your shoulder blade farther back and see if you can turn your left chest upward toward the ceiling, rotating the upper back. Good, if you're there, let's reach the left arm up again. And exhale the left hand to the floor. Good, send your hips back in space for that half split or runner's lunge. Lift the left toes up, so just your heels pressing the floor. Strong contact there as you just do your best to straighten the left leg. Good, few breaths here. The next time you exhale, come back to your lunge. Good, tuck your back toes under, lift that knee nice and high, straightening the leg, plant your palms, and find plank pose, stepping back. Good, strong through the core, 3 breaths here. With your final breath out, bend your elbows back, slowly lower to the floor. Good, we're going to take that Little kind of breakdown of Cobra, or excuse me, of Locust Pose again. Take your forehead to the floor, point the toes, slide your hands back just a little bit, squeeze the shoulders together, and then hover your hands off of the mat. Tops of your feet are pressing down, your tailbone is lightly tucking. Good, keeping the shoulder blades squeezing together, straighten your elbows, reaching the hands behind you. Imagine like you're trying to lift a barbell up away from your hips, palms face the ceiling. Good, engage your legs and lift your feet and your knees up off of the ground. And then last component, lift your chest and your head, engaging your upper back, Locust Pose. Good, let's reverse the steps. Exhale the chest and head down. Then release the feet to the floor. Bend the elbows, return the hands to that hovering right outside the rib cage. Then place the palms down. Good, re-engage your shoulders. Inhale, find Cobra Pose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, press up to your knees. Slide your knees forward a little bit. And exhale to Child's Pose, sitting back. Just letting your upper body release forward and down. Good. Feel a heaviness in your hips. And then when you're ready from here, we're going to come into downward facing dog. Lift up to table, spread the fingers widely at the front of your mat, tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back. Good, let your head and neck drop. Just take a few moments to find that inverted V here, adjusting your stance if you need to so you can get nice and long through the arms and the spine. And since we've already stretched the hamstrings a little bit, maybe you're able to find a little more length through the back of the legs than you typically would in your first down dog with a practice. Feel your heels reach downward toward your mat. Good. From here, look forward, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, step to the front of your mat. Good, let's hang over the legs here, standing forward fold. Again, let your head be heavy so the back of the neck can lengthen. From here, take your hands to your shins. Inhale to flat back position, nice and long. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees like you're about to do chair pose. Let the arms dangle down as you roll up through ragdoll all the way to stand. Once you're standing, draw the shoulders down your back. Find a nice tall mountain pose. Good. Make sure your feet are hip width apart here. We're going to take a little side bend to lead us into a sun salutation. As always with standing side bends, you want to be feeling your tailbone tucked down toward your heels so there's less arch in your lower back. Good. Tone the legs a little bit. We're going to raise the left arm up and inhale. Exhale, lean your upper body over to the right side as you send your hips over to the left side. Crescent Lunge pose. Keep that toning in the legs, mainly from squeezing your quads, but also the outer hips are active because you're tucking the tailbone down. The next time you inhale, straighten your body and reach up through both arms. Exhale the left arm to your side and start bending your upper body to the left. Send your hips over to the right. Find that C curvature through your upper body all the way down to your heels. The next time that you inhale, straighten the body and reach up through both of your arms. Exhale like you're diving, come to your forward fold, drop the head. Inhale to the flat back position. Exhale, bend your knees and step back to plank pose. Take just one breath in here. As you breathe out, bend your elbows, lower to the floor. Point your toes and squeeze the shoulders back. Inhale to Cobra. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, push up to your knees. Exhale your hips back like you're about to do child's pose, and then lift up to downward facing dog. Letting the head go as you press actively through your palms. Take about 5 breaths here. One more inhalation, look forward. Exhale, step up to your hands. Hands to the shins. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, open the arms, rise all the way up. Exhale, release the arms to your sides. Good, we're going to take a little variation of a standing forward bend. So this one can be a bit tricky. It can be tricky for your balance, so feel free to have a piece of furniture near you. But I'm going to stand with my left leg crossing over my right leg, but I want to try and line up my feet so that the pinky toes meet each other and that my left foot isn't farther forward than the right foot. And so you're standing with your legs tightly crossed, left foot outside of right. So that naturally means that your front leg, the left, is going to be a little bit bent. There's no way to do this with the front leg straight. But when we fold, I want you to try and keep your back leg straight, at least initially. Bring your hands to your waist and make sure that your pelvis still faces forward, that it didn't twist to the left when you crossed that leg. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, send your hips back, your upper body forward like you're trying to go to the flat back position. Maybe you can hold there for a moment. If this is too strong in the hamstring, let your back knee, the right one, bend a little bit. Then continue to fold down, taking your hands to the floor, or you can set up blocks. Let's let go through the head and neck and try and keep both hip joints facing forward. We're not letting the pelvis twist. Good. Now if your back leg, the right one, is straight, we're going to bend it, which is going to shift the weight more into the balls of the feet. Start to let your left heel come up, and then just simply uncross that leg and lunge the left foot back. End up in a high lunge with your right knee bent. Good. Hopefully that was clear. All right. Right knee is bent. Let's bring the back knee down to the floor now. Low lunge. Take both arms inside of your right foot. Move the right foot over toward the edge of your mat a little. Turn it out and open the knee for our wide hip variation on the low lunge. Good. Get nice and low in the pelvis. And I'm going to stay high up on the fingertips. We're going to take a side bend variation here first. So let's walk the upper body off of the mat over to the left side, putting as much space between the right side of your rib cage and the right inner thigh as you can. And then once you're in the side bend, then you can play around with whether to be high up on the hands or maybe bend the elbows a little and lower your upper body. Just seeing how or if that changes where you feel the sensation in this pose. But no matter what the upper body does, try and keep the pelvis really low. It's the primary focus of the pose. Good. Let's come out of the side bend. Take both hands back onto your mat, straightening the spine. Good. From here, let's tuck the back toes under again and lift the back knee nice and high. And then we're going to just wiggle the right foot off of the mat so that you can plant your palms shoulder width apart. From here, push strongly through your palms, fire up your core, and step your right foot back, finding plank. Good. Take one deep breath in. As you breathe out, bend your elbows, slowly lower to the floor. We're going to take locust this time. We're going to come into it all at once. Point the toes, forehead down, reach the arms back, and then lift everything up into locust. Take 3 breaths here. Arms are reaching back, knees and shins are lifting up, chest and head is up. From Locust, can you bring the hands to the hovering position right outside the chest, and then place the hands and feet down and continue to rise up into Cobra. Good, exhale, roll everything down. Tuck your toes, press up to your hands and knees, then send your hips back to the heels, and then up for downward facing dog. Adjust your hands and feet if you need to, and just notice the difference in sensation between your right and left legs and the hips. Good, look forward, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, step to your hands. Inhale to the flat back position. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees like you're about to do chair. Arms hang down as we roll up slowly through ragdoll, coming all the way to stand. Good, once you're standing, find a tall mountain pose for a moment. Take a few breaths there. Good, so we're going to be coming back to that crossed leg variation of a standing forward bend. So my left foot is going to be roughly in the center of the mat. I'm going to cross my right thigh tightly over my left and try and line up the edges of my feet so that my right foot is no farther forward than the left. They're really side by side. Right now my right knee is slightly bent, but my back leg, the left one, is straight. And I'm going to try and keep my pelvis facing forward. So my hands are just at the hip bones to be aware there. Good, we're going to come into the fold, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, lean your hips back toward the end of your mat, your upper body forward, finding the flat back position first. If that's already really intense of a hamstring stretch, you might want to just micro bend the back knee and then continue on to your fold, trying to let your upper body draw down. The hands can reach the floor or have your blocks there if they don't touch. Good, and I'm really squeezing my thighs together. Imagine that you had like a little tennis ball that you were trying to hug between the back of your right hamstring and the front of your left quad. Good, if your back leg, the left one, is totally straight, I want you to start bending that knee, which is going to force more of the weight into the balls of the feet. I'm now going to let my right heel get really light and eventually lift it up. And then from here, I'm going to uncross that leg and then lunge the right foot to the back of the mat, ending up in a lunge stance here. Deep bend in my left knee. Good, from here, put the back knee down, low lunge. Take both arms to the inside of your left foot and move it over to the edge of your mat a little. Turn that foot out and let the knee and thigh fall away from your shoulder. Good, coming into our wide hip variation here. That knee is going to stay out to the side. Upper body goes to the opposite direction, over to the right. My hands are coming off of the mat. I'm trying to contract and shorten the right side of my torso to stretch and lengthen the left side. Feel free to be up on the hands or bend the elbows and lower your chest a little bit in this variation. Good, let's come out of the side bend, return your hands to the mat. Good, all right, from here, tuck the back toes and lift the back knee nice and high. Wiggle your front foot even farther off to the left so it comes just off of your mat, and adjust your hands so they're shoulder width apart for plank. Actively push your mat like you're trying to send the floor 2 inches lower than it is. Fire up your abdominals and then step into plank. Good, take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower to the floor. Point your toes, put the forehead down, reach your arms back alongside you. We're going to come up into Locust Pose with one sweeping breath. Lift everything up here, holding this posture for 3 more. Good. From here, without lowering the legs yet, can you bring your hands to hover right outside of the chest? And then place the hands and feet down, push the floor, and rise up into Cobra from there. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and roll down. Good. Inhale, press up to your knees. Slide your knees forward a little bit and take them wider than your hips and sit back into Child's Pose. Just nice and slowly. I'm going to release the low back a little bit before we come into Down Dog again. Feel your breath expanding front to back and side to side. And then when you're ready from here, you can lift up and come into Downward Facing Dog. One more breath in, look forward. As you breathe out, walk up to your hips. Hands to your shins. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, let the arms hang down. Slowly roll up through ragdoll, all the way to stand. Good, find mountain pose here once you're standing. Nice and tall through your spine, rooting down through your feet. Good, we're gonna take one more little variation here. This one's a standing side bend again. We're going to be crossing one leg behind the other instead of in front of the other, like we just did. So I'm going to be having my right foot in its regular position like it is right now. Step your left foot behind your right and just off of your mat. So now the feet have still basically a hips width distance between them. And I want to keep my pelvis facing forward. Again, the back one is going to be the straight leg. I'm bending into my front leg a little bit. Good. From here, let your right arm hang by your side. Raise your left arm up. And then exhale, lean your upper body over to the left again. Pour weight equally into both feet, however. So I'm not really sending my hips as far over as I would in the first way that we did this pose with the legs crossed. Maybe a little bit of leaning the hips, but I still want you to have strong energy through both feet. Good. Coming out of this pose in one motion is a bit of a challenge for the balance. I like to lean my upper body forward a little bit more. So more weight is now in my right foot. And then in one step, return the left foot to the mat and straighten the body. Reach up through both arms. Good. Let your left arm fall by your side. Your right foot is going to cross behind your left foot and end up just off of your mat. So that right leg is straight. I'm bending my left knee a little. Hips face forward. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, lean your upper body over to the left. So the crescent moon shape is now from the right fingertips down your body and down to the back foot, your right foot. That leg is really straight, so press all the way down through the heel and through the ball of the foot. Come out of this in one step, lean your upper body forward so more weight goes in your left foot, and then step your right foot back to your mat, reach up through both arms. Good, take a deep breath in here. Exhale, dive forward over your legs. Inhale to the flat back position. Exhale, bend your knees and step back and up directly to Downward Facing Dog. Good. From this down dog, we're going to come into Pigeon Pose. Let's raise the right leg up into the air. Look forward and bend the knee into your chest as you shift forward, and then put the knee in between the hands. Slide your left leg back, and if you can, open the right knee out to a 2 o'clock angle, and then come forward and down any amount. Your back toes can be pointed or tucked, whatever feels better for the leg there. And try and keep your pelvis level, both the right and left hip joint are on the same horizontal plane, if that makes sense. So that's what opening the right knee out to the side will help you do. Good. Close your eyes here if you like, and just settle in for a nice long passive hold here. And when you're ready to come up, lift your head and walk your hands back in front of you. All right, so from here, listen carefully. I'm going to try and explain this pretty clearly. You're going to lean your weight into your right hip. So let that hip and outer thigh come to the floor. And now start to bring your left leg forward in space and stop when it comes almost all the way up to your right foot. So both knees are bent now. You're leaning into your right hip. Good. Stay upright once you're here. Try and lift your chest. Maybe just be on the fingertips. And now with your left foot, I want you to flex at the ankle so the toes point out toward the left side of your mat. And start to actively press the inner left knee more strongly into the floor. So inwardly rotating the thigh bone. Good. Now do exactly the opposite. Press more into the ankle and try and lift the left knee off of the mat. Keep the ankle on the floor just for a moment. We're just doing a little hip activation here. Good. Let's go back. The left knee is going to come to the floor and you're going to purposely press it into the mat so the left ankle is a little lighter. And then the opposite. Press into the left ankle and try and lift just the left knee up, firing up the hip. Good, so if this is really challenging, you're going to stay like that. If you're really light in the fingertips, bring the palms to your heart, and now lift the ankle up also, hovering the leg out to the side. Stay with it just for 3 breaths. Good, from here, see if you can, without touching this foot to the ground, lean your body weight back and swing the leg forward and out in front of you. Good, then let it land. All right, now we're going to come to the traditional nose to knee pose. Your left leg is straight out in front of you. Bend your right knee out to the side. It already was from pigeon, but we're just going to put that foot in place at the sole, or the sole of the foot into the inner left thigh. If you can reach for your strap, it might be a nice assist for this pose. You can toss the strap forward around the ball of your left foot. Hold on to it with a tight grip and sit up nice and tall. The right knee is opening out to the side, trying to find the floor. When you're ready to fold, pull gently against your strap, tuck the chin, and lean your upper body forward and down toward your straight leg. Good. Slide your hands forward if they meet the foot, hold there, or just take them farther down your strap. Good, inhale and rise up. Let's get rid of the strap. All right, cross your ankles in front of you and lean forward, put the hands down, step into table. And then from here, set up for down dog, lifting the hips up and back, maybe pedaling the legs a little bit back and forth here. And then when you're ready for pigeon on the other side, we're gonna reach the left leg up into the air, look forward, bring the knee to the chest, shift forward and put that knee down in between the hands. Good, right leg slides back. If you can, you're opening your left knee out to the side about a 10 o'clock angle, maybe sliding your straight leg farther back. So square hips. Come on down whenever you're ready into your forward bend variation here. Any amount. Close the eyes and just settle in there. Good. From here, come on up. When you're ready, bring yourself up to your hands. All right, so we're setting up that sort of awkward position. You're going to let yourself lean into your left hip now. So your weight goes all the way into it. With your back leg, you're going to bend the knee and slide it forward and stop when it gets almost to the foot. So my thigh bone is out from the hip at about a right angle. It's kind of parallel to the front of the mat. Good. Come up higher on the fingertips and start to lift your upper body. All of your upper body is sitting down into this left hip. Good. So now let's flex at the right ankle so the toes kind of point up toward the shin. And you're going to more intensely press your inner right knee to the floor, as if you could hover the right foot off the mat. You might even be able to. Actually, yeah, mine just lifted up. It didn't do that on the other side, so maybe I just have better inner rotation here. But right knee is pressing down. And then the opposite, place the right ankle down, press it so intensely that you can rotate the right thigh and maybe hover the knee off of the mat. Outer hip and glutes are fired up. Once more for each, put the right knee down again, press it so intensely that your right ankle gets light or maybe even hovers. And then right ankle goes down, fire up the outer hip, hover the right knee. Good. If you can be even lighter on your fingertips, try and bring the palms together in front of your heart. Good. And then add the ankle lift as well. Keep that leg hovering out to the side for 3 breaths. Good. And see if you can do this without letting the heel touch the floor until the leg's forward. Swing it out to the side, lean back, and then let it come out in front of you and put it down. Good. Adjust your upper body, adjust your left leg. We're going to come into our nose to knee pose. Sole of the foot comes to the inner right thigh. That leg is straight out in front. Find your strap again and put it around the right foot. Sit up nice and tall as you pull against your strap for leverage, and then fold when you're ready. Upper body comes forward and down. And you can hold the foot if that's available to you, or just slide your hands farther down on your strap. When you're ready to come out, inhale and rise up. Good, you can get rid of this strap. Take the left leg out in front of you. Lean your hands behind you, resting on your palms. And just wiggle the legs a little bit. Shake out the knees and the ankles. Get rid of some of that intensity from that little activation we just did. Good, and then bend your knees, slide your hips forward toward your feet, so when you lie down, your head is on your mat and not on the floor, and carefully lower yourself down to your back. Good, once you are there, you can bring your knees into your upper body, give yourself a little hug, wrapping the arms around your legs, and just rock a little bit side to side here. Massaging the lower back. And then rock the knees around in a nice wide circle several times in each direction. Massaging your sacrum here. Good, and then if there's any sort of finishing pose that would feel really good to you before you relax on your back, go ahead and take that. That might be happy baby, maybe that's a little simple twist. If you feel ready to enter corpse pose, then feel free to go right there. We definitely did a few twists already tonight, but I know many of us just like to end with that on the back. Do whatever you need to do to feel like you have done a complete practice and your spine is ready to settle into the floor, into its natural curvatures. Good. And once you are in your final resting pose, Shavasana, gently close your eyes if you haven't already. Take a moment to let them settle, feeling the muscles in your forehead soften. And take one final deep breath in through the nose, out through your mouth. With that gesture, let go of the focus and attention on your breath, allowing your natural rhythm and depth to return. Just letting go. Let your whole body sink into the floor, releasing any lingering active energy. slowly bring your attention back to your breath. And take a few deeper breaths as you begin to move a little bit in your body. And then eventually bend your knees and roll over to one side, curling up into a fetal pose. And just take a moment to pause there as you hug into yourself and notice how you feel. And then with as little effort as possible, make your way back up to a comfortable seated pose, keeping the eyes closed. Get tall through your spine. And take a few deep breaths here. And bring the palms together in front of your heart. And we'll end by chanting Om one time, taking a deep breath in. Om. Exhale and gently bow your head, acknowledging yourself for making the time and the space to practice this evening, and expressing gratitude to your body. And thank you for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Get a lovely night's sleep. Thank you so much.